The martial artists runs toward the gate to enter the sword graveyard to run and chase down the Wudang sect who are already gone. They are shouting that they want the elixir to improve their internal energy, but they notice that someone is approaching at a high speed. It was Cheong Myeong who beat down those who were in his way. He told them to get lost since they were just small fries. Those who are at the path of this drunken bastard were beaten up and thrown away. The other martial artists are starting to question what the hell is happening and why are the people flying away around. Then the Mount Hua sect disciples ran towards the gate, which was led by Cheong Myeong. Of course, those who are in his way end up in a poor state. Cheong Myeong shouted, "If you dare touch what belongs to me, you are dead meat." But suddenly there is a random martial artist that suddenly attacks Baekjeon sideways, which he is able to block. Then he releases a counterattack by slamming the sword handle on the neck of the martial artist. Yoon Young, who was watching the whole scenario, started to feel anxious. In his mind, we are starting to get attacked from the rear. Those who are overwhelmed by Cheong Myeong's sudden charge are starting to pay attention to us now. This is the real battlefield. This is so different. Duels cannot be compared to this. It doesn't feel bad right now only because Cheong Myeong is leading the front line. This place is already a chaotic hell where people kill each other left and right. I must stay on my toes. As they run, Cheong Myeong oversees the gate. He shouted, "I can see it. The entrance of the graveyard. Everyone go and jump inside." But before they could jump in, someone suddenly shouts so loud. He shouts at Cheong Myeong, calling the Mount Hua divine dragon a wicked bastard. All of Mount Hua disciples stop and look at the back to see the person who is shouting. That guy was the beggar sect branch leader, Hong Daegwang. Daegwang shouted, "Since you have taken so much from us, you ought to at least bring us all along. You thug!" Cheong Myeong looks at him. He could only curse in his mind, asking if this guy is serious for what he is saying. Hong Daegwang was also attacked by other martial artists, which he counterattacked using his spear. In his mind, darn bastards. They totally forgot about us, huh? Do we look like a joke to them? But looking at where Cheong Myeong was standing, Daegwang starts to question, how the hell did those darn Mount Hua bastards get past this many people? He shouts at his fellow beggars, "Darn beggars, go and open a path for me." One of the beggars, who was panting and catching his breath, said, "But we used up too much strength just to get here. I don't think we can go on anymore. Instead of staying here, I think we should retreat." Hong Daegwang angrily replied, "What do you mean retreat? Are you freaking serious? The sword of the graveyard is right in front of our eyes." Then Hong Daegwang and other martial artists noticed that someone is approaching at a high speed, and a sudden explosion happened in that area from one attack. Every martial artist was shocked by the explosion. It was actually Cheong Myeong who came back to fetch them. Cheong Myeong said, "What are you doing? Just get moving. There is nothing there for you to pick up, so get over here now." Hong Daegwang replied, "Okay, wait. We are all coming. But wait, the rest of the guys are too tired. I need to bring all of them with me, but it will be too hard for us to catch up with your speed in our current state." Cheong Myeong is annoyed by this beggar who only causes him trouble, but he has no choice, so he jumps onto the location of these beggars to save them. The beggar was dumbfounded on how high Cheong Myeong can jump, and Cheong Myeong grabs this beggar and throw him to the entrance. The beggar was shouting because he was suddenly thrown away. Daegwang shouted at Cheong Myeong, asking him why did he throw him. The beggar was continuously shouting while he was in the air, and that was a perfect 3 points as he was able to shoot them perfectly in the entrance. Other beggars were also grabbed by Cheong Myeong and thrown away at the entrance, including their branch leader Hong Daegwang. As soon as everyone went inside the entrance of the Sword of Graveyard, Cheong Myeong starts to think. In his mind, "I think everyone who might be useful has gone in. The rest are small fries who will only get in our way, huh? If I wait a little longer, better help might come, but it will not be wise." Anyway, not only is there a huge empty space in the middle of the forest, but it has also a soil with a red tint to it. It feels like an arena where numerous people have fought, but well, that is not what is important though. So Cheong Myeong jumps, making the heads of the fighting martial artist as his path to easily escape the crowd. As soon as he was able to reach the entrance, he unsheathes his sword and point at all of the martial artists. He said, "No more invitations left, so see you next time." After that, all of the martial artists could just look at Cheong Myeong, who has done a backflip towards the entrance. He boosts himself in the air to go fast down in the entrance and slices up everything to close the entrance. The remaining martial artists at the top were in dismay as the entrance collapsed. Now Cheong Myeong is freely falling in the deep entrance towards the sword graveyard and ready to find the elixir. At the bottom of the entrance, the Wailing Assassins Trio eldest brother, Shadowless Wailer, said, "Do you know what it means for you guys to have entered this sword graveyard? It means you are now a rival of the Wailing Trio Assassins." The Shadowless Wailer laughed and said, "The reinforcements that could probably help you are probably outside, but things are different here. Even if we kill all of you, no one will ever know." Yoon Young asks Baekjun, "Senior, what should we do? I don't think he is listening to us at all." Baekjun told him that he already given up talking to him too, and he didn't think that they could quietly go any further while these assassins were blocking their way. While these assassins are quite notorious in Henan, they have no choice but to defeat them to move on. So he unsheathed his sword and pointed at the enemy, telling the younger disciples to get ready. But a sudden explosion happens when someone falls above the entrance. It was Cheong Myeong, who perfectly landed on one of the assassins that made the poor guy unconscious. Cheong Myeong glared at the assassins and asked, "Who the hell are these guys?" The Shadowless Wailer was sweating from his sudden appearance. He became silent because that was the words he wants to say. He wanted to ask who is the one who made his brother unconscious. Cheong Myeong said, "Well, I don't care about their identity. Let us beat the shit out of them first." Then he suddenly kicks the face of the Shadowless Wailer, and it was a direct impact. This bastard doesn't hesitate when beating someone. From that kick, the eldest assassin was thrown away and pinned on the wall that caused a large explosion. All of them have nothing to say about that beating. Cheong Myeong asks, "Who did you say these guys are?" Baekjun told him, "They are the Wailing Assassin Trio. Within Henan, they are said to be scarier than tigers. At least they are supposed to be." The remaining of the trio of assassins were shocked that his brother was just one-shotted by the young disciple. It was a one-sided defeat. The poor assassin was on the ground, felt like he was hit by Saitama's punch. Cheong Myeong said, "What do you mean trio of assassins? More like they are assassination targets. Where did such a weaklings come from?" Baekjun told him that they are not weakling and they are quite notorious. Baekjun could say nothing and wants to ask this crazy guy about how high is his standards. He wants to say that this guy is truly a monster to make a notorious assassin sleep instantly. The last assassin was of course beaten down by Cheong Myeong mercilessly. Baekjun wants to sympathize with these assassins for facing a crazy monstrous bastard. Cheong Myeong looks at the door and there is a written word which is sword graveyard. Cheong Myeong said that it was an obvious name. Yoon Young asks if there is a problem with that. Cheong Myeong asks if who is the one who named the place the sword graveyard. Jojial said, "Wouldn't that be the Medicine Immortal? It is his grave after all." Cheong Myeong said, "He named his own grave, huh? Doesn't that sound a little nasty?" After hearing that, Jojial realized that it made sense. Cheong Myeong said, "Normally, a grave is named only after it is made. However, sword graveyard was already written on this door, right? Even though it was assumed that no one has discovered it so far." Yoon Young said, "What if the woundless sword interceptor was the one who engraved that name on his own grave so that people would know about it?" Cheong Myeong replied, "That is possible. There is no way to guess what someone who died 200 years ago was thinking. However, there is one thing for sure. The one who made this graveyard is no ordinary person, regardless of whether it was the Medicine Immortal or not." Cheong Myeong added, "To be able to make such a huge place with rocks this deep underground is unimaginable unless you are extremely capable. Do not let your guard down. This is not your ordinary graveyard." Hong Daegwang asks Cheong Myeong, "What do you intend to do now? It won't be easy to get out of here just with the people we have. If we take into consideration those who came before us, this place is no different from a lion's den. I think we should look for a suitable people here to forge an alliance. We will then proceed to get a complete grasp of the sword graveyard and confirm whether the origin energy pill does exist." Cheong Myeong take a sigh and said, "If they were that peace-loving, they wouldn't have come here in the first place. Besides, those who wanted to join in an alliance would have already done so and have gone ahead just as you have suggested." In Cheong Myeong's mind, depending on their objectives, martial artists easily team up and split up. Even if they were hostile to each other outside, they might have no choice but to join forces in order to reach their goals in this place. The strongest members of one of the 10 great sects have already taken the lead. No matter how famous the martial artists who came here are, they are nothing but a flicker of light in front of the Wudang sect, which is like the sun. It is normal for people to team up instinctively when they are in front of a tremendous enemy. Die trying to exhaust the Wudang sect. The snake will be slithering behind you, waiting for the right opportunity to come. Hong Daegwang looks at Cheong Myeong, and based on the fact that he is making that face, Hong Daegwang concludes that things must be going according to his plans. Hong Daegwang said, "Mount Hua Divine Dragon, I don't know what you are thinking, but you know everything is over once those people get their hands on the origin energy pill, right? If we are going to move, then we better move fast." Cheong Myeong said that he knew that too. With that, Cheong Myeong told his fellow disciples that they needed to move now. The Mount Hua disciples agreed to. Also, Hong Daegwang said that they will follow too. Then the whole area suddenly went silent. Cheong Myeong looked back at him with disgust and said, "Who says you can come with us?" Hong Daegwang replied, "Who knows? I could be of help to you." Cheong Myeong said, "I have never heard of any beggars possibly of being any of help. Just shoo and go away." Daegwang replied, "Do not shoo me away like I am a chicken. Let us help each other instead. Once we get out of here, I can definitely provide a ton of help to you. I am Hong Daegwang after all. If you think carefully, I am certain there are things I can do for you." Cheong Myeong smirked and said, "To hell with your help. You would only be able to provide me with some information at best." But suddenly, Cheong Myeong stops talking. In his mind, "I think it actually sounds okay. If I build a relationship with the beggar sect who has control over information and make use of them whenever I need them." He remembers the young bastard who slams him with a wooden sword in the head, saying that he is dead meat and beating him up. Cheong Myeong asks, "Old man, how high up is a branch manager within the beggar sect?" Daegwang replied, "How high up, you said? There are probably fewer than 100 beggars who are ranked higher than me." Cheong Myeong asks, "You would be able to locate and capture an entry-level beggar anytime then, right?" Daegwang said that he can do that with his pinky toe. Cheong Myeong smiled and said, "Is that so? All right, I will allow you to follow us while we are in the sword graveyard. However, I have one condition." Daegwang asks him what condition does he referring to. Cheong Myeong told him that he wanted him to find a beggar from the Wuan Beggars sect branch. Daegwang asks him who is that beggar. Cheong Myeong with his boiling rage said, "Jongpul, that was his name." For those who do not know Jongpul, he was the one who beat Cheong Myeong when he was reborn again in his present body, which at that time was weak as hell. Daegwang said, "That won't be a problem. I guess you guys know each other, huh?" Cheong Myeong with burning red eyes replied, "Know each other, huh? It is more than that. I owe him. There is a debt that I must pay back." As Daegwang looks at Cheong Myeong that is like a bull that is ready to charge in with his smoking nose, there is one thing in his mind. "I don't know what the Jongpal guy did, but I send my condolences to him." Daegwang looks at the ceiling. One thing comes in his mind. "I thought it was much brighter here than I had expected, but it is because of the phosphorescent pearls. Not only this place hidden away so that no one could enter it, but it was also lit with these things. That means that the Medicine Immortal was incredibly rich." Well, that is not surprising. Origin pill could be easily sold for 1,000 gold each. But he notices that it is getting darker, so he looked up and saw Cheong Myeong like a lizard collecting the light balls. He asks him what is he doing. Cheong Myeong said, "Can't you tell? I am earning money. Damn, I got a ton of them." In Daegwang's mind, wasn't he the one who volunteered to take the lead? What the hell is he doing? Daegwang said, "Is that what is important right now? We are in a situation where the Wudang sect might already have the origin pill in their hands." Cheong Myeong said that he doubted that they already have it. Daegwang asks how did he know that. Cheong Myeong told him that is because they are still moving forward. Daegwang was so shocked to hear that. In his mind, don't tell me, has he been tracking their energies? I can only tell roughly that there is a group of people in front of us, but that's it. On top of that, it is simply a feeling, not something I am certain about. However, he speaks as if he was sure about who was in front of us. How exceptional must he be in detecting energies for that to be possible? Degwang said, even so, isn't it true that they will arrive where the pill is earlier than us? Cheong Myeong replied, yeah, but that makes things easier for us. You will know when we get there. Oh, this is really a nice pearl too. Degwang is starting to ask if he can really trust this brat's intuition. Yoon Young noticed something. He said, doesn't it feel like the corridor is getting narrower? Baekjun replied, I think so too. When we first entered the corridor, we could easily have 5 walking alongside each other, but now it's so narrow that only the 3 of us could walk side by side, and it would have to be shoulder to shoulder. Yoon Young said, I can't think of why it would be made this way though. Jo Jiol was sniffing something. He said, I have been smelling an unpleasant scent for a while. Uisil said that was the scent of blood. But while they continuously walking, all of them were shocked to see a pile of dead bodies on the ground. Baekjun said, isn't it a little strange? The blood they have near their mouth isn't red but black. Were there any poison users among those who came before us? Cheong Myeong looked at the body and he said, there are traps. Look carefully. Their bodies are full of needles and they got stuck into them not just from just one but from all of the directions. In Degwang's mind, does it mean that this whole corridor is trapped? I cannot believe that the Medicine Immortal who devoted his life to saving people would deploy such horrible traps in his own grave. This must be more dangerous than I thought. Yoon Young called Cheong Myeong and told them that there was something on the corpse. Cheong Myeong said, what about those corpses? If we stay here for too long, we might get poisoned too. Let's keep moving for now, and do not touch anything here. It is too dangerous. The rest of the disciples follow what Cheong Myeong said. As they walk by the dead bodies of martial artists, there is something that comes into Baekjun's mind. This is what the Jianghu is like. The reality is truly hitting me now. We are currently in a place where we are not protected by the name of the Mount Hua sect. If I slip up here, I could end up dying. Jo Jiol asks, will there be a lot of such traps here? Cheong Myeong replied, I am not sure. I do not know what kind of person the Medicine Immortal was like, but what I am sure about is that this place isn't just a place full of treasure. In Cheong Myeong's mind, if he was simply hiding divine weapons here or using this place as a grave, there would have been no need to deploy such traps. They reflect the true intentions of the one who built this place, and depending on what those intentions were, the level of danger here can vary. Suddenly, Degwang jumped at the ceiling and said, what is that? Isn't it the color different from what we have seen so far? It is so red and unique. It looks really expensive. Cheong Myeong, who was shocked by his sudden action, asks him what he is doing right now. He replied, you are one step late this time around. I found this special phosphorescent pearl first. You are not going to say that all the phosphorescent pearls here belong to you, right? Just let me have this one. Cheong Myeong angrily shouts at him, didn't I tell you not to touch anything here? Then all of them were alarmed and look at the back as they hear tremors approaching.